Right then, guys, so just a little update on what I've done with the lighting in my car. I've managed to put in some red, green, blue footwell lights that interface with the same control circuit that does the Basenor light tube kit. So I bought these footwell lights from AliExpress. They're about £8, I think, from China, including shipping. And there's 4 strips on them, 4 strips of 12 LEDs, which is perfectly good for lighting up the footwell a little bit. And I've managed to put those in. They came with a little Bluetooth controller and a cigarette lighter plug, but I didn't really want to use that because I didn't want to have 2 different apps, 2 different sets of lights, 2 different sets of colours. And you know, some people might want that. Some people might want the footwells to be a different colour to the accent lighting. I wanted it all to be the same colour, and if it was on a pattern like this, I wanted it to be all in the same timing and things like that. So what I did, we've got this circuit that I put together that takes the signal from the footwell lights and uses that to switch on the rest of this circuit, which is powered from the cigarette lighter socket. This is the Basenor RGB controller, the Bluetooth controller board, just out of its little box, which is controls the red, green, blue on the Basenor kit, which are these 3 black wires that come off it here. Now, when I took this to pieces, it became apparent that these silver LEDs these silver machined metal enclosures had a single LED in, and they take a 3-volt feed, which Basenor have taken off that 3V/3V mark pad in the centre of the board there. They also had used B1, R1 and G1. So these 4 on this side of the board were in use. The rest of those, G0, R0 and B0, were blank pads. There was nothing attached to those, and this 12 volt here was also empty. So I took a bit of a gamble, and I took the control kit that came with the AliExpress light strips to pieces, and that was a 12 volt power supply. 12 volt power went down to those strips, so I thought, brilliant, we'll use the 12 volt off this. I'd already established that G0 was connected to G1, R0 was connected to R1, and B0 was connected to B1. So I knew that the switching would be the same. The only slight gamble was that these transistors, the triangular components in the middle there that do the switching, whether or not they would take the extra load, whether it would all just blow up. But I was willing to take that risk. So what we did is we got a little bit of 4-core alarm wire, soldered onto G0, R0 and B0, soldered onto the 12 volt. That comes around here, along underneath this section of trim on the side of the centre console, all the way along there, down to the side of the driver's side footwell, where I pulled that section off there. There's instructions from Tesla how to pull that section off. And behind there, there's a little bit of chocolate block where I connected in the 4 wires from the 4 different light strips together. And then from there I could feed them around the rest of the car where I wanted them. Now, what I decided to do, rather than put them up under here, that's the original Tesla footwell light, I thought about maybe trying to put one of the strips up under here, but I couldn't really work out how to do it, and actually it became apparent that sticking them underneath the front seat wasn't a bad idea. So this is my driver's seat as high as it'll go. That's just the front plastic guide rail. That's the motor that drives it forward and backwards. And there's a nice section of this plastic guide rail which is completely untouched. And I managed to put this onto here, zip tie it into place, take the cable around here, and go round through the back of the seat back there. So that just loops over there and finds its way back. You can see actually the loom that goes around from the seat down to the base of the car. Cable zip tied around on the back of that, so it moves as the seat moves forward and backward. The cable moves forward and backward with it. No chance of it getting entangled in any of the mechanism. It's been snowing here today. It's not very often it snows in England. And if we go into the back here, ignore that little battery pack, that's just Christmas lights for my daughter. Go into the back here, you can see I've put another strip here on the loom that supplies all the electrics to the seat, and that's just zip tied around on there, and you can play about with that. You can put it wherever you like. All the wires come off there, feed down underneath here, place where these wires can feed underneath, and they figure their way underneath that bit of the seat rail. I managed to post them under there, so they come out from under there. Now we're in the middle of the centre console. You can see the wires coming out there along with a lot of rubbish. Sorry, apologies for my dirty car. Coming out from there. Same happens on the other side. You can't see it because there's a crisp in the way. And then they go forwards and find their way into the edge of the centre console, just at the bottom of the driver's side footwell there, and exactly the same in the passenger side. So from there, in the driver's side footwell, there's a bit of chocolate block somewhere just behind there that's just wedged in nice and tight so it doesn't rattle or wobble. The feed wire comes up there, loops around and works its way back along that trim up to here. And in doing that, we've managed to get RGB in the footwells, which does exactly the same colour pattern as whatever the Basenor kit is set to do. I've been running this like this now for a good 4 months and it hasn't blown the kit up yet, so hopefully it's man enough for the job. And alongside this little electronic box, switches on and off with the footwell lights. So there you go. I'll link the kit from AliExpress in the description underneath for anybody who might be interested in doing it. Obviously it's just involves a little tiny bit of soldering, and then once you've got all that together, just a little bit of trial and error with the colours of the wires, which wire on the AliExpress kit, which colour wire feeds which colour of LED. But that's just a case of trying one and seeing, and trying another and seeing, and you'll work it out. There you go. Hopefully it's useful to someone. Cheers, bye.